In our next project, we'll use some of the concepts and skills that we developed in the previous two drawings, and we're going to create a realistic apple drawing. So the first step would be to transfer or create an outline drawing by the transfer method. So I'll center my reference paper here and tape it down to my paper. This paper is a Strathmore colored pencil paper, and then place my carbon paper underneath with the carbon side down, the darker side down to the paper. And then I want to make sure my pencil is sharpened, because for this drawing, to create the effect of natural looking apple, we need to make sure the contours that we see here, anything that looks like an edge, a contour, I want to make sure that's really accurate. I'm going to take my time to trace those contours carefully. Very carefully. Okay. Down below here, there's a kind of a contour created by this reflected light on the apple. Right here, it's a little lighter. Okay, then the shape of the apple here that dips down. So when you're drawing contours, tracing them, you're looking for anything that is a basic edge to some portion of the object you're drawing. We will also use the edge of like a dark shadow, and we'll draw that contour as well. That helps us figure where to bring our shadow to. There's enough of an edge on these areas where the shadow turns to the highlight here at the top. We can create an edge because it's very defined. Now way here at the back behind the stem, there's also a shadow, and then you see the edge, but it's more subtle. So I want to have two lines there, one representing the edge of the apple, the other the edge of the shadow coming up to the edge of the apple. Okay, then the stem, also there's where we want to keep that the right thickness so it looks natural. Like so. Let's see what we got. Okay, so this created a very light drawing, which is fine. I might just indicate where this shadow is down at the bottom, and I'll bring that out later. Okay, I missed the edge. On the close to the side of the stem shadow here that's closest to me. Okay. Might just indicate this light area, although we don't want it as a hard edge, but I'll just lightly indicate it. Okay, because this drawing really requires some focus on accuracy, I want to just do a little correcting of my drawing. It's the drawing's very light, and that's actually usually good, but I want to define the areas that have this smaller detail. So when I'm drawing it, I know where the edges of things are. Okay, so that's a little clearer. And then maybe slightly erase this so I want to be able to see the contours, but I don't want them overly dark. Because this drawing is a darker drawing, they should all basically get eliminated. I'm more concerned in the edges that are lighter. Okay, now I'm ready to start the process of building the drawing. When we're working with drawings that have light and shadow, showing a roundness or volume, we need to start by indicating those shadow areas. So those darks kind of build slowly, and they feel integral to the rest of the color in the drawing. So what I want to do is I'm going to take, I'm not going to start with a black or really dark gray or anything like that. I want to start with a darker red. So I'm starting with color to build the shadows. So what I want to do is come up to these edges. I'm going to do a little more erasing so that I don't have a pencil graphite edge here. Okay, so I'm going to come up to the really carefully. This is where there's a lot of detail right here, where the lighting turns from the shadow to more of a highlight at the top. I want to make sure I'm maintaining that. Then inside the tip here, or the top of the apple where the stem comes, the stem area, I'm going to come in here and also define that. I want to do this to start with so that as I'm layering, I'm not just erasing the contours that I've drawn and then I lose my my place in the drawing. Like I don't know where the contours are and so forth. So, and then it becomes confusing. So I want to start by making sure that's defined. So I'm moving in a little closer so that you can see what's happening. So I want to be very careful about these contours here that I've transferred. I want to keep those very accurate so that later as I build my color, I'm not going to lose these edges. So in this drawing, in order to really create the effect of a realistic apple here, using this reference, we need to be careful about our building so it goes slower than the the other simple apple. Now down below here, I'm going to kind of start here by identifying the other side of the edge of this drop down base of the apple. Okay, so it's important to keep this contour down here is to make this bottom edge on the left here and on the right, make this darker, kind of bring the darks in, so it will create the edge that separates that little section from the section coming forward more here. Okay, now here the dark comes out like so, and then up on top here. Notice I'm leaving this lighter highlight area. I'm leaving that light for now. Okay, I'm going to continue to try to bring the dark areas here in shadow, make those darker. So I'm just looking for where are the darkest areas and make sure I'm bringing those out. Notice how I'm using a medium stroke and layering it, bringing it up layered, because I want to keep this even looking and keep the color as it looks even. It doesn't have a lot of splotches in it because I'm not pressing, at different pressures. It's just sort of a medium pressure. Okay, then I'll come in here and I'm going to leave a little bit of light on these edges here. Now there's kind of a patch of dark here. Okay, so now I'm kind of defining where these detail areas are. Now I'll go back and build the darks again. I want to bring this dark area with the red, bring it up to maybe about 50% coverage. You'll still see the white of the paper. Okay, but I want to get it dark. I want to really bring it to a level which can help me see the darks and the lights in the drawing. Okay. So I'll go ahead and work with this a little more, and then we'll start our next curve.